Okay, so let's get started. So today we are going to discuss about the one of the important topics, so which is graph traversal, right? So graph traversal. Make a heading. So graph traversal. Okay, so first of all, let's understand, right? So what is graph traversal, right? So what do you mean by graph traversal? So that means any graph is given, right? So in the previous all these, right? So we have discussed what are the different graphs are there and all, right? So now we need to understand. So how can we traverse the graph, right? So that is the main agenda for today. So what are the different graph traversal mechanism are there, right? So that's what we are going to discuss, right? So given any particular graph, so this is my graph, right? Any graph, right? So any graph could be anything, right? So any given graph, right? A, B, C, D, E, F. So which point you should start, right? Question is where should you start? Okay, somebody can say that, okay, let's start from the arbitrary point. Okay, if that is so, then suppose I'm starting from A. So where should I go? Should I go B first or F first? Okay, so that is the question will come, right? Or after suppose I'm going B, then what is the algorithm we are following so that I'll after A I will go to B, right? Or after B I will go to F, right? So that is the graph traversal, right? So that's where the graph traversal technique come into picture. Okay. So given any particular graph, so our objective is to how can I traverse all the vertex of that particular graph, right? So that is known as graph traversal. So there are different mechanism for that. Generally, we'll be focusing on BFS and DFS. You might be heard about this, but we'll go in details. Don't worry. So BFS and DFS, right? So these are the two generic techniques in order to traverse any particular graph. Let's first understand BFS. Okay. So let's first understand BFS. So then after, so maybe we can go for the DFS. Okay. So given any graph, so I will just erase this graph for now in order to make a simpler graph to understand, right? So if this is my graph, okay, a tree could be a graph also, right? So this is why I'm taking graph like this, because it will easier for you to understand. Okay. So if a graph is like this, we'll take graph which is where there is a cycle and all, we'll take that. But what this BFS says, breadth first search, right? So what is the full form? Make a heading. So breadth first search, right? So what is the full form of BFS? Breadth first search, right? So right. So breadth first search, right? So what is this breadth first search? That means its name is representing its meaning, right? We need to cover the vertices in the breadth wise, not in depth wise. Breadth means this is the breadth, right? Depth means this is my depth, right? So BFS means we need to cover the vertex or we need to traverse the vertex in the breadth wise, right? So that is what known as BFS. So if I'll ask you what will be my BFS for this one, so we'll understand the exact algorithm, but roughly, so I need to traverse breadth wise, right? This is BFS, right? So that means I will complete this fourth one first, right? So this will I will complete first, then I will go for next breadth, which is this is second, then I will go for the third, right? So that is how the breadth wise I will keep on traversing, right? So if I'll ask you what is the traversal of this one, so then I will say that I'm traversing from left to right. So this is A. Then the answer for this graph is going to be A. And once this level is done, so I'll go to the next level, so which is B. I'll go from left to right, so it is going to be B. And then it will go to C. And then it will go for D and E, F, G. So this is my BFS, right? We'll discuss about DFS later, right? So this is my BFS traversal, right? So given any particular graph, the objective is to traverse the graph in breadth wise, right? What does that means? That means traverse the graph is first breadth, this one first, second, third, fourth, right? So now coming to this, right? So what data structure we will be using, right, for BFS? If you'll ask me, so if you'll think about how should I write my algorithm, or how should I, or what data structure I should use, right, so that I can just do this same work, right? So what data structure will be used? So BFS use what? Queue data structure. Now how the working principle works, right? So let's understand how it works, right? Let's try to understand. Suppose this is my graph, right? Suppose this is my graph, right? So how it will work, right? So it will start from the beginning. Suppose it is starting from A. Whenever A is coming, right? So we have a queue, right? So queue is means fast in, fast out. It is simple, right? So I hope you know queue. So it means, so the person who came first. So if this is my queue, so people are standing in the queue, right? So that means this people come fast. This will be sort fast. That means the element which came first, that is going to be sort fast. So queue is nothing but what principle it follow? Fast in, fast out. That is the principle queue follows, right? So in this example, so what will happen? So when A is coming, right, A will be added to this, right, queue. And what will happen? So we'll see what all adjacency of A. You now know, we have already discussed in the graph basics. So if you don't know, just check out the previous lecture. But yeah, so what are the adjacency of A? B and C are the adjacency of A. Then once for A, so I will do this. So once I find who all are the adjacency of A, so B and C, then I will put B and C into the queue. Since there is no adjacency of A, now I can happily process A. So A will be processed, right? So now A will be processed. Okay. So that is two steps generally. One is flush check and then explore who all are the neighboring vertices available. B and C are the neighboring vertices. Okay. Now which one? Which one I will take? I'll take again the beginning, right? First, who came first? B came first. So that's why I'll take B. So what I will do, again I will repeat the same process. What I will do, I will repeat the same process, right? What does that means? Who all are neighbor of B? Who all are neighbor of B? So D and F are neighbor of B. What I will do, I will again insert that element into this particular queue, right? Once you got this particular the neighbor of B, now B does not needs to do anything. Now we can traverse B, right? So that's why I will traverse this particular B, right? I will traverse this particular B, right? I will traverse this particular B, right? Okay. So I'll traverse this particular B, right? So B I can remove from the queue. B is traversed, right? So once B is traversed, so which element I need to take? Again, then C I need to take out, right? So whichever is in the, you can say, front of the queue, right? So this is the rear of the queue. Insertion will happen at this end. Deletion will happen at this end. Okay, I will take C, right? So before taking C, I will check if C is having what all adjacency vertices are there. Actually, C have three adjacency vertex, not two. C has a adjacency vertex as A, C has a adjacency vertex F, C has a adjacency vertex G. So that's why if I'll see, A is already processed, right? So that's why I don't need to again process that particular same node because it is already processed, right? So that's why I don't need to do it. Then whether E is processed, no, is A is already processed, right? So A is already processed, but E is not processed, G is not processed. So let me do one thing. Let me insert F and G, right? F will be inserted and G will be inserted. Now C is ready to be processed because all the adjacency vertex of C are now in the queue, right? So now C is ready to process. So now I can process or I can delete. Process means I can delete this one from the queue. So once this is deleted, I will again fetch the next element from the front. So D is the next element from the front. So whenever I will go for D, what is the thing I need to do? I need to check the same thing. What does that mean by same thing? Who all adjacency of D? There is only one adjacency which is B, and B is already covered. That means D does not have no new adjacency vertices, right? So that's why happily I can process this particular D, right? Happily I can process. This is independent. Nobody other vertices are there, right? So D I can happily process. So once D is done, then I will go for the next element that is in Q. So which is E. So whenever I will go for the E, like I told earlier, it is just a repetition task. I will see who all are adjacency of E. There is no one adjacency. Actually, one adjacency which is B, but it is already processed. So that's why what I will do, I will immediately process this particular E, right? I will process it. Then I will go for the F. F is the also same thing. So I will process it. Then I will go for G. I will process it. Okay. So after doing all these steps, so I got the final output, which is like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If you look into this, so this is same as the same, right? So this was without using Q. This is just the formal algorithm, right? So you can take a Q and you can keep on adding whatever the adjacency list or adjacency matrix, whatever the adjacency vertices of A are there, keep on adding into the queue and take out the whoever is the front, and if there is anything, just keep on appending, right? So that is the complete algorithm of the BFS. Let me take one because somebody can ask, okay, so this was looking like breadthwise, so that's why it was easier for us. Let me take actually a graph because this was a tree, right? If you think about it, let me take a graph and do the same thing, right? So let me take a graph and do the same example with respect to an graph, right? So let me take an example. Okay, suppose my example is like my graph is like this. Suppose my graph is like this. Suppose this is my graph, A, B, C, D, E, right? So this is my graph, right? So this is my graph. So what I will do, I will follow the same steps. So there is no difference, right? So I'll follow the same steps. But this was like a tree structure for your explanation. But here you cannot directly, right? So here, if you look into, you can directly by looking into the graph, you can say, okay, this is breadth one, so this is second, this is third, right? But here you cannot say, right? So immediately because this is the level one. Suppose you are starting from A. So how you will do? So you will again take the same Q, right? Q you are taking, right? So first of all, you are inserting A. Okay, so once you inserted A, what you will do? You will check who all are adjacency of A. You can say B and D are two adjacents of A, right? So there are two adjacents. So let's insert, right? So whoever is adjacency of A, let's insert them. So B and D are adjacency of A. So that's why I inserted BD. And now since A does not have any adjacency, so I am ready to process A, right? So let me process A. So right, so final output. So this is my output. So A is going to be processed because no dependent is there now on A, right? So that's why, right? So now what I will do, so I will go for which vertex I will choose. I will choose this one, front element, right? Because this is my Q. So once this is deleted, next element needs to be processed is B, because this is FIFO, right? Q follow fast in fast out. So B will be processed. But remember, so before processing B or before writing it B, you will first check who all adjacency are B of B are there, right? So who all are adjacency of B? So B adjacency, if you'll see A, right? So A, but A is already processed, right? So A is already processed. So that's why I don't need this. C is an vertex, so which is not processed. So that's why what you will do, you will first add C. So once you add C into the queue, now B does not have any other further dependency. So that's why B is ready to process. So that's why you can process this B, right? So now B can be processed. So once the B is processed, so which vertex, next vertex you need to take? Again, the same thing, D vertex, right? So once you are planning to like process this D, but before processing this D, you must see who all are dependent on D, right? So if you look into the graph, so who all are dependent on A? So now A is processed, B is processed. So these two vertex processed, right? So for D, there are three vertex. One is A, one is C, and one is E, right? So if you see, so A is already processed or added into the queue, and C is also already added into the queue, and E is not added into the queue. So that's why you will add this particular E into your queue, right? So before processing D, you need to check all the adjacency vertex of D, and you will keep on adding to there, right? So and you find that okay, one new vertex exists which is E, and that's why you add it. So now so you are ready to delete this particular vertex from the queue. So once you delete this, so what will happen? So you will go for the next element. So next element is C. So C is what? C whether it has any new dependent vertex. C has how many vertex? B is there, D is there, E is there. But all the vertex, if you look into this, so they are already processed. So that's why no new dependent. So I can simply go ahead and delete this C, right? And again, similarly, I'll go for E, and simply I can go ahead and delete this E, right? So this is how this particular BFS work. If you look, actually, so if we'll convert this tree, right, so into this format, so A is here, so A is connected to B, and A is connected to D, right? So if you look into this way, right, so let me draw it here. So if you look, if you'll convert this particular graph into this kind of pictorial representation, so A is here, and then what is there? A is connected to B, and A is connected to D, right? And B is connected to, right, B and D, right? And what will happen, right? So after this, so B is connected to C, right? So B is connected to C, right? And you can see B is connected to C, B is connected to A, and there is one more vertex, so which is A is connected to D, and D is connected to C. D is connected to C. That means this exists, okay? And there is one more vertex, so which is like E, right? So D is also connected to E, right? And E is connected to D, and E is connected to C, right? So that is how the pictorial representation, right? So A is connected to BD. Yeah, that's fine. Correct. Yeah. 1 2 3 4 5 6 number of edges. 1 2 3 4 5 6 number of edges. Okay. So now since I represented now in this particular format, so you can now see, so this has also happened in the same fashion, right? So if you look into this, you can process like this, right? If you look into this, so A you process, so A you process, so then BD you processed, BD, and then CE, right? So you also processed like you are processing in a tree. So same way also it was processed, but it is looks, the structure looks different, but yeah, so that is all about it, right? So this is the concept of breadth first search, right? So its main, I'll repeat, just its name represents its meaning. That means we are going in breadth wise, right? So that is the main objective. So what we are doing, simply there is two step, there is no more than two step. So first step, choose any vertex, right? Choose any vertex and put it into the queue, right? So that's it. Choose in vertex, put it in the queue. And while processing, right? So if you are choosing this vertex, put it into the queue. So while processing, suppose you want to process this front element, so make sure that all the adjacent vertex are there in this queue. If not, then insert them and delete them, right? So these are the steps involved in case of BFS. Okay, so this is all about the BFS with the examples. We'll see, we'll understand DFS, and we'll try to compare, and we'll see what is the basic difference between BFS and DFS. But this goes on depth wise, right? So DFS goes on depth wise, and BFS goes on breadth wise. But we'll go for the DFS. Now just let me know in the comment section if you have any queries, or in case any queries, just let me know. I'm ready to clarify. Okay, so I will. Okay, so that's good. Clear. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, so let's move on. Now let's move on then. Try to solve an example, right? So let me give you a homework, right? So it is not not now, you can solve it, right? So let's try to draw the BFS of this particular tree, right? Take it as a homework. Yeah, just write down the just write down the BFS traversal of this particular tree. Okay. So remember this, right? So sometimes people confuse, right? So suppose A is there, right? So whether I should go for B or C, right? So that is one confusion. You can go for either C or B, right? So there is no restriction. So it is not like that you will go for C or B any order, right? So that could be any order, right? So like in tree, I was saying that A, then B, C, right? So you can also think about A, C, B, right? Because this was just way representation, then that's why you are able to say that which is left, which is right. But if you look at here, you cannot say who is left or who is right, right? By looking into this, right? Okay, so if this is the vertex, or it could be like, so one vertex could be like A, then this is BC, right? And then they are connected, and then something like this. So for A, you cannot say whether C is left or B is right, right? But here maybe you can see left, right? But that is fine. But here, if the picture is like this, you cannot say, right? So suppose you are at here, right? So you are at here. You cannot say E you should take as fast or D you should take as fast. So that's why it is okay, right? So don't bother much, right? So you should not bother which one to take. Either you should take for B, go for B, or go for D, right? You can take either B or D, C, right? So that is what one thing I just wanted to say. Are we clear? Just type one more time, clear. So what I was trying to say here, this is what people do sometimes, think about it. Are we clear? So should we move on? Okay, 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 great. Okay, okay. So let's move on. Okay, fine. So okay, so let's make a heading. So which is like, okay. So now we are going to discuss about depth first search. So we have already seen, so what is BFS, how it works. We have taken some examples and we have seen how the traversal will work for different kind of graph. But if you are coming to depth first search, right? So what will be the basic difference? So like we know in case of VFS, we use Q as the data structure, right? But in case of DFS, so what data structure will be used and how it will work, right? So let's first understand, right? So what is DFS, right? So it is one of the traversal technique. Again, it is one of the traversal technique. So how it works? Its name is representing its meaning, right? So how it works? So depth first search. That means you will keep on exploring on depth wise, not the breadth wise. So if you'll take this similar example like we have taken, right? Suppose A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Suppose this is my tree, or maybe you can say that this is graph, right? So whatever you want to say, okay. So in case of, if you remember BFS, so what was the answer? So you will cover this one first, this whole thing first, right? So you will go for A, then this breadth again, that means B, BC, then D, F, G, D, E, F, G, right? So this was my BFS. But what will happen in DFS, right? So if you look into this, so this is depth first search, right? Depth first search. That means I will go and explore the depth first, right? It is not like that I am going to explore the breadth first. So whenever you are at here, so let's start with one of the depth, right? Don't go for, once you explore B, don't go for here. Let's keep on doing, right? So suppose this is my bigger tree. Suppose this is my bigger tree, right? Right, suppose this is my bigger tree, right? Suppose this is my bigger tree, or maybe graph, right? So something like that, so maybe they are connected. So what you will do, so you will not go in this way, rather you will go, you will start from here, you will go to this vertex, process it, and you will go to here, you'll process it, go to here, go to here. Once this is done, maybe you will start to explore this one, right? So you'll start exploring this one, okay. So that means once the depth, one depth is completed, gone, one depth wise, then you will think about the other depth, right? So that means you will go in depth wise, not in breadth wise, right? In BFS. So that is the basic difference. So here, if you now you can guess, so which data structure you will be using? You will be using definitely stack, because so once you are done with this particular, suppose depth, you need to come back to here, right? So you need to come back. Is there any right child? No, there is no right child. You need to come back again, you will go in depth, right? So that's how it works, right? So that's why, so this will be using the data structure, so which is stack. If you know stack, you just last in first out, last in first out. That is the principle. Last in, that means the element which is inserted at the last, that element is going to processed at fast, right? So that's why it uses the principle of LIFO, right? So which is stack data structure, okay. So let's go ahead and explore this particular example, and let's try to write down, so what will be the answer for this one, right? So let's do it. So like I told, right, so we'll start from this, suppose vertex A. So once I start, so I'll process that, but I will go for one of the vertices, one of the depth. I can go that depth, that does not matter, but I'll go one of the depth. So let me go in this way. So I'll go to this particular vertex B, right? And after B, try to see, I will not go for C, because I'm not going for depth, breadth wise, right? That is BFS. So once I go here, again I will keep on going the depth. That means I will try to go for D, right? So once I am done with B, then I will try to go for the go for the D, right? So once I am done with this, then I will go for the D. Once I am done with this, right? Once I'm done with this depth, if you see, so this depth is completed, right? So then I will traverse back, right? That is what there. This is what the stack will be used. Stack will keep track. Okay. Once this D is processed, so now it is the turn of B, right? So let's see if there is any depth associated with B. Yes, there is one more depth. So which is E. We'll take stack. No need to worry. We'll just let's understand first. Then we'll take the stack and we'll understand. Then let's see E, right? So E will be taken and then it will be processed, right? So E will be processed, right? So E will be processed. So once E will be processed, so it will go back to A, okay. For A, so this depth is completed, this whole depth is completed. Now I'll go for C, right? So I'll go for C. So I'll go for C. So once I go for C, I will again go for depth, right? So you can go for this depth or this depth, that is fine. Let me go for left depth. So that means I will go for F. So once it is done, then I will go for G. So this will be my DFS traversal, right? So DFS traversal in simple, A, B, D, E, C, F, G, right? So that is the DFS traversal, right? For this given graph, right? So that is all about it. So how it works, like I told, so I hope it is clear. So let's take on stack and understand how it works, right? So let's take on stack, so understand, right? So what we'll do, right? So how the answer is going to come like this, right? So the answer, let me write down the answer is like A, B, D, E, C, F, G, right? So that is the answer, right? CFG. So let's take on stack and see how actually if we'll write the program, right? So how can I use stack and write down the program, right? So that is the main objective, right? So what you will do, right? So you will take a stack, initially it is empty, right? You'll take a stack which is initially is empty, right? So now let's start with A, right? So what will happen? So you will put A, right? So you will put A, right? And you will also process, right? So whenever you are seeing the vertex, you will process it, right? And once you process it, so what you will do, so you will see, you will not see what all adjacency are there, you will see any adjacency is there. This is the difference between VFS and DFS. A, you will just go to that particular vertex, try to focus here, go to vertex and explore that vertex and process it. And once you process it, you will try to see what is there any vortex, right? Is there any vortex exist, so which is adjacency to B, sorry, adjacency to A and is not processed? Yes, there exist, of course. There exist B and there exist C. I don't bother, I need only now one vertex. That could be B or that could be C. Let me take B, right? So what I will do, I will just push this B into the stack and I will process it, right? I will process it. So that's what I will do, right? So what I will do, again I will ask the same question. Now it is just a repetition of what I told, right? So what does that mean? What does that mean? So it is just try to ask a question to B. Hey B, whether there exists any vertex which is adjacency to you and is not covered so far. Answer is, who all are adjacency? A is adjacency, D is adjacency, E is adjacency. So A is already processed, so I don't care about A now. So there are two vertices, D and E, but I don't care about the all the vertex. I only care about any of the vertex. So I will go for D. So what I will do, I will push D and I will process also D, right? You can see, right? So like I can say, you can instead of going to D, you can choose E also. That is fine. You will go any depth. The main objective is that you will go keep on going in depth. It could be left depth or right depth. There is no such definition whenever we'll take an graph example and DC, right? Okay. So now A, B, D, right? So once D is over, you will ask the same question to D. Hey D, you have any particular adjacency vertex which is not covered till now, and there is no such vertex exist. For B, only an adjacency vertex is B, right? So that's why there is no such vertex exist. So that's why what you will do, you will simply pop this, right? So you will simply pop this, right? So you will simply pop this. Okay. So now who is the vertex, right? So now so now we came to a, now we look into the stack, right? So who is the vertex? So B is the vertex, right? So once you look into the B is the vertex, you will ask the same questions once again, right? Hey B, is there any particular node exist, right? So who is not covered and is your adjacency? So B, for B, D is already covered, A is already covered. So yes, B will answer, yes, there exists one node. So which is E and is not covered. So that's why what will happen. So E will be pushed here and E will be processed, right? Once it is processed, again you will ask the same question to E. Hey, so whether you have any adjacency which is not being processed till now. So E, there is only one node which is B and it is already processed. So E does not have any further child. So what you will do, you will pop E. Since E does not have any further child, so you need to pop it, right? So you will pop it from the stack. So once E is popped, now your stack is looking like this. Now this is B. Now again you will ask the same question to B. Hey B, is there any vertex? Answer is no, because D is already processed. If we'll see, E is already processed, so then all the vertices of B and A is already processed, so is already processed. So that's why you will pop again B. So now you will come back to A, right? So that's how the backtracking is also happening. So if you'll realize this backtracking is happening, right? So that's why DFS will be also used in backtracking kind of thing. Anyway, so A is going to be, so now you will ask the same question to A, right? No, A will not be pop. So you'll ask the same question to A, right? So is there any vertex, so which is not processed? Answer is for A, okay, B is processed, but C is not yet processed. Then A will answer, yes, there exists an vertex, so which is C, so which is not processed. So then let's process that and put it into the stack, right? So that's it, right? So let's put it into the stack. So and again, I will ask the same question to C. Hey, is there any vertex? So which is your adjacent and not processed? Then F is the vertex, right? So F is the vertex. And G can be also, right? F and J both are not processed. So you can choose either F or G, right? So let me choose F, right? So that's what I'm choosing, but you can choose anything. So F is the vertex, so which is adjacency to C and is not processed. So then you will push F, you will process it and push it into the stack. So then you will again ask the same question to F, but F does not have any particular because C is already done and there is no child. So that's why what you will do. So you will say that okay, so F does not have any child, right? So that's why F is here. Okay. So now what I will do, so F does not have anything, right? So that's why you will pop this F, right? Because F does not have anything, so you will pop it, right? Again, you will go back to the C, right? You will ask the same question, C, whether you have someone. Yes, he has someone. Which is that? Which is G, right? So let me push G. Let me push G here. Okay. So then what I will do, I will ask the same question to G, right? So I will ask the same question to G. Hey, there is anyone? No, C has only one, which is C, and there is no one, right? So then I will pop this, and again I once I pop this, so then I will go for C. I'll ask the question to the C whether you have anyone adjacency node. No, all F, G and A, all the adjacency node are completed, right? So that's why we'll pop this A, sorry, C, and again I will go for A. For A also, B and C are adjacency and they are completed, so now I'll pop this. So now the stack is empty, so now I'm done. So that means this is the sequence. If you'll see, that is also we found earlier. So this is how the depth first search work, right? So it will keep on going on depth wise, and it will keep on inserting the value into the stack, and it will keep on asking the same question, right? So whether there exists any adjacency vertex, right? So that's what it will keep on asking. So let me take an graph example, right? So this was tree, like, okay, so the concept is same, but let me take an graph example, a small graph example maybe, so that way. So suppose similar kind of graph, right? So suppose A, B, C, D, E. Okay. Again, suppose you are starting from A, right? Same thing you need to do it, right? Same thing you need to do it, right? So what you will do, so you will create a stack, right? You will create a stack and you will immediately put A, and you will also process A, right? A is processed, right? A is processed, okay? And you inserted A also into the stack. You will ask what question, right? Same question. So you will ask, hey, whether you have any adjacency, so which is not processed till now. Yes, there are two, right? B and C are adjacency, right? But you need to choose only one. Suppose I am choosing B, you can choose A, right? So there is nothing wrong, but I am suppose choosing B, right? So that's what I'm choosing, right? So you will choose B, then but you will push it into the stack and process it. Then you will ask the same question to B, whether you have someone. Yes, A and D are there already. A is processed, so then I will push D and I will put it. If you'll see, it is going at depth wise, right? So if you'll visualize, right, this is very important that you should visualize. If you look, it is not going, it is only going in depth wise, right? So it is one depth, right? Keep on going, keep on going. Yeah, so D is processed. So now D is processing. So while D is processing, you will ask the same question to D. Hey D, do you have someone which is not yet processed and you want to process it now? Answer is okay. Yes, there are two persons, C and E. Which one I should choose? You can choose anyone, right? So that is up to you. So then let me choose E, right? So that is when let me choose E, right? You can choose C also because you have two options. Then I will also process E. Then what I will do? I will ask to E, hey, so do you have someone which is not processed and is your adjacency? So answer is yes. So there is only C is left, right? So C is the person so who is existing and it's not being not being processed till now. Okay, so once you are done, so now if you'll go to the C and you will ask the same question, C whether you have someone who is adjacency and is not processed. So he C as adjacency A D E, but A D if you look they are already processed, right? So they are already processed, right? So that means for C there is no extra vertex available who is adjacency and is not processed. So that's why you will delete C, right? Or you will pop, right? You will pop this one from the stack. Okay, so once C is done, so then you will go to the next element, so which is E. So you'll ask the same question for E. Again, C and D already processed, so that's why you will pop also E also you will pop. So you will ask the same question to D, and again if you realize E and B are already popped, so I think every vertex are already popped, sorry, already processed. So because there are 5 vertex were there and 5 vertex already processed, so that's why you will pop this. B also no new vertex are found, A also no new vertex are found. So that's how you will get this particular sequence if any given graph is there, right? So the basic idea is that you will go to any vertex, you will just put it into the stack, and you will just try to see, don't see for any all the vertices available to the adjacency of that vertex. You need to see find any of the vertex, right? Once you find any of the vertex, so what you will do, so we'll just push just insert that, process that vertex and just keep on going one more step, right? So that's why it works on the depth wise, right? So that's all about the DFS. BFS also we talked about. So the basic difference is that BFS like works on breadth wise, this works on depth wise. This uses queue, this uses stack, right? So that's it. That is the basic difference. There is in-depth difference. So that is the basic difference. If you look into the backtracking and all purposes, DFS is the right data structure, so which should be used, right? So whenever you are going for a puzzle solve and all this kind of or pruning kind of thing, if you know, right? So that kind of example, if you look, say, right? So that kind of problem can be solved using DFS, right? Okay, that's all for DFS. Okay, I will just I'll just pause here and any questions, or are you clear with these examples? I'll just write back. So just let me know in case you have any question. Last example is not clear. Okay, so let me explain you, right? So yeah, so this looks pretty straightforward, so just try to see, right? So this is pretty simple, right? So if you think a little bit, okay, so let's try to understand last example. Okay, one more time. So what, okay, so before going to the example I will tell you, right? So try to understand this one. So you are at point, suppose you have two vertices, right? So let me do it this way. right? So you have two vertices, right? Suppose these are the two vertices, right? So this is the thumb rule. So whenever this is a vertex, suppose this is my vertex and this is one child, this is one child. So where you will go? You will go either this way or this way, right? So that is what you can go this way, right? You can keep on going this way, or you will choose this way, right? So that is what the main example. Suppose you are given any particular, suppose you have two vertices, again you have some vertices, right? So let's go in depth wise, right? So let's complete one depth first, right? So here depth, whenever you are going, forget about this right part. We'll do that later. So let's go to the left. So forget about the right part, like this one, forget about it. We'll do that. Suppose there is one more tree. Let's go here. Let's go here. So you are at any point of time, so you are going only in one depth or one child, right? You are going to any of the child. That's what I can say. Okay. So you are going that way. So once everything is done, so then you will coming back. So you will see, okay, so this was only one done. So this is still remaining. So then you can cover this one. Okay. Okay. So let's go to the example, right? So let me explain this example one more time. So A is here. So where I will go, I will immediately process A for sure. So there is no issue, right? I will process A. Immediately I will process A. So there is how many childs are there? Then E, sorry, not child actually. So that is not right word. How many adjacency are there? B and C are adjacency, right? So A is connected to B and A is connected to C. So where should I go? And the question is where should I go? According to definition, you can go to anywhere, right? You can either go to B or you can go to C. Suppose I am going to A. A is done. So I am suppose going to B. So that's why I inserted B. So then I will not think about A. Sorry, think about C for now. I will not think. Forget about C. So let me go to B. So once you are at here, you have what all are vertices are there. So A is there, but A is already completed. D is there. D is only one choice. There is no other choice. So definitely you will go for D. So from B, you have one choice, you will go for D. So from D, how many choices you have? You have two choices actually. You can either go to C or you can go to D, right? So that's why you processed B. But from okay, so D is processed. So D is processed. So D, from D, where can you go? From D, you can go either to E or you can go to C. The choice is yours, but you need to choose only one path, right? Or one vertices. Suppose I choose E, so that's why I choose E. So I'm going to E now. So I'm just following this path. If you'll see depth, one depth. Because if you'll construct this one, right? So I'll construct later. Okay. Okay. So now I'll come to E. So once E is over, so then I will go for C, right? So that is how I will go because I don't have any other option, right? So if you'll construct this particular actually why or how it followed the depth wise. So if you'll see, so A is connected to, suppose this is my vertex A, right? A is connected to B, right? So if you'll see, this is B is also connected to D, D is connected to E, right? E is connected to C, and A is connected to C. Actually, if you see, so I have traversed this tree, right? So this graph and any other thing, E is connected to D. So this is also there, right? So I'm just putting the dotted mark since B is connected to A and D. Is connected to A and D. Okay. C is connected to A. C is connected to E. C is connected to D. Yeah, this connection also exists. So this connection, right? So this connection. So if I'll draw this particular series, if you'll see, I have covered them actually depth wise, right? So although the graph from here you can go here, but I am covering this depth, right? So that's why it is known as depth first search. Uh, how B not C? Okay. No, that's what, from A, right? So that's what I told, right? A you can go to B or C, right? So there could be multiple solutions, right? So this is not only one solution, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. This is one of the solution. This is one of the solution. Okay. Yeah, we can go to A to C. Yeah, let's do that. Suppose somebody says that, like Selena is saying, right? Suppose Y will go for B, right? So yeah, that is correct, right? So it is not mandatory that I will go for B, right? Somebody has some interest and they will start from A, and what you will do? We'll just go for C because you have choice. You can go for B or you can go for C. So then you will go for C, right? You will go for C. Once you are at C, so you will not think about B for now. So you are just like this, A and C. From C, you have two choices. You can go to D or you can go to E. Suppose I am going to E. So you will go to E. Okay, so you will go to E. From E, you have only one choice because C is already completed. So you have only one choice. So that is D. So D, so you will go from E, you will go for D, right? And from D, you will go to B, right? So you have only one choice. And you will see that B does not have anything. You will just keep on popping. Yeah, this could be one answer. A, C, E, D, B. A, C, E, D, B. E, B, D. You told E, B, D. But how E, B, D is not possible? E, B, D, how it is possible, right? From E, how can you go to B, right? So E, B, D is not possible, but E, D, B is possible. So whichever you written, Selena, right? So that is not correct, right? A, C, E, that is fine till that point. So you had written A, C, E, that is I'm okay, but you have written B, D. B, D is not possible. B, D is not possible because whenever you are at E, you must see what is my depth or where can I reach, right? From E, you cannot go to B. You can go to C, you can go to D. So you have only one option. So because C is already completed, so you will go to D. So that's why BD is not possible. Rather, it will be DB. Is it clear that why DB is not possible? A, B, D, C, E. A, B, D, C. Where is A, B, D, C? Then in BFS example. No, in BFS, no, in BFS and DFS are different, right? So if you look, right, so why what happened? A, B, D, A, B, D, A, B, D, C, A, B, D. Okay, so what was the solution for this one in BFS? So what was the solution for this one in BFS? Can anybody tell me? I don't remember. Okay, change. There was a different change, right? So yeah, that's why, right? So because BFS A, B, D, C is not possible, right? So for this one, BFS ABD, ABD is not possible, first of all, right? For BFS in this example, because BFS means suppose you are starting from A, so you need to cover all the adjacency of A. So you are covering A, so CB are adjacency. So either you can write ABC or ACB, right? So this is what you will write. You cannot write ABD. That is not possible because you need to complete all the adjacent. That is the BFS part, right? So A, so once you complete A, so then you will complete BC. So whenever you are BC, so B's adjacency is D, so C's adjacency is E. So D, so that will be the answer. So either it can be A, BC, B, C, but if you are processing B first, then it will be D and then it will be E, right? So this is what. If you are C processing first, then it will be like E and then D. So this could be one answer, this could be one answer. This is for BFS, right? Yeah, city inter, that is fine. So you can take this example, right? So why we need to go back? So for this example, so these are the two BFS. No, you have still doubt. I don't understand. So can you ask your question one more time? You want me to go back to BFS for this example? I'll interchange and you want me to explain one more time? That is also fine.
Sir, can you listen me?
Just one second. I
Sir, can you listen me?
Actually,
Sir, your voice is not audible.
hmm,
Sir, sir, can you listen me?
can you tell me Selena one more time? I'm not able to hear you.
Sir, can you listen me?
No, no, I can't hear you. Can you write what is your issue or what is your doubt? Can you write down? I don't know, so there is some issue maybe. I'm not able to hear you. In this example, how it is A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D for which one? BFS or DFS? You are asking. No, no, that's what, right? So yeah, so just 1 second. No, I think I got it.
Right? So yeah, yeah, I got it, right? So B to C, right? So why it is ABC? Yeah, B to C there is no connection. But what is the rule says, right? Try to understand the rule. Rule is you are processing A. I'm talking about BFS now. So whenever you are processing A, see all the adjacency vertex. Who all are adjacency? B and C are adjacency to A. Then immediately you will process B and C. Who all are adjacency, you will process it. That's what. It is not like that B is related to C. That's why we are processing or there is a connection we need. We are processing B and C parallel because they have a common point and A is the common point. And we are starting from A. Since A has two children, right? Like I given this example, right? So A is A have B and C. So I'll process this layer, right? So A and B and C, but B and C are not no connection. If we look into this example, what will be the answer? A, B, C, right? Forget about this one. What will be the answer? A, suppose this is my tree. A, B, C. What will be answer? It will be A, B, C, right? So A, B, C. So this is my tree. What will be answer? A will be processed first. Then who all are adjacency? Then they will be processed. The answer is A, B, C. Although there is no connection, then C will come after B. Or you can write SCB. That is also fine. A, C, B. That is also fine. That's why I have written ABC or SCB, right? Because who all are adjacency or who all are in the next level, not actually adjacency. So same thing, right? So whenever saying, so who all are adjacency to A, then we can say, okay, so they are ready to process. Yeah, yeah. B and C are adjacency to vertex A. Yeah, although B and C are not related, but they are adjacency, right? So that's where the difference. Try to understand the BFS. Let's focus on BFS first. That's why, right? So let's focus on BFS first. For A, when I'm processing A, I will process all the vertex which are adjacency to A, right? So A, all the vertex, right? So all the vertex, right? Who all are adjacency, right? For A, B, and C are adjacency. That's why I'm processing A, B, C. So A is processed, right? So A is processed. Suppose I will process now B because A is processed now. I will process B. B means who all will be adjacent. There may be thousand number of nodes. Like for B here in this example, D are adjacency. A is also adjacency, right? But A is already processed, so that's why D and E are adjacency. So I can cover D and E. Okay. it making sense, Selena? I'll go to DFS. Don't mix with DFS. DFS will go. Let's first focus with BFS. Okay. So now DFS. So okay, should we jump to DFS then? In DFS, so DFS try to see it. In DFS, I don't go to all the adjacent. That's what I told, right? From A, I don't want to go to B and C. B and to C and two possibilities. But I will not go to B and C at same time. I will go to only one of them, right? I may have 1,000 number of adjacency node. Try to understand. A may have 1,000 number of adjacency because this A is also connected. Suppose E, right? Suppose this is connected. That means A has D, E, B. Then suppose there are so many edges. But in BFS, I will cover every vertex first, all the adjacency first. A means B, C, D, whoever all are adjacents, I'll cover it. But in DFS, I will choose only one vertex among them. I will choose only one vertex. From A, I have the choice. I can either go B or C or E, but I will not go to any of the thing. It is your choice. You can go to B or C. Like that's why I have written I can go to B or I can go to C. Forget about these things. Let's stick to only two vertex. A, then I can have a solution AB because A is connected to B, or I can have a solution A is connected to C, or I have a connection A to E, right? So that's why this is what it is possible, right? That's why so this is one of the possibility, right? So let me erase this. So let me go one step ahead. So whenever A is connected to B, so A, suppose I am going to B. So what I will do, I'll apply the same logic. What is my logic here? Logic is I will check. There may be 1,000 number of childs are there. I'll choose only one. For B, there may be 1,000 number, but A is already completed, right? So that I'll not consider. So B has only one choice then, D. Right? If I'm going to B, then I have, these are BFS, not DFS, right? So let's don't go to that. Yeah, so whenever you are at B, so you will go to D. So these are BFS exam. So you'll go to D. You have only one choice. From D, you have two childs or two adjacents, A and D, but you can go only to D, right? Because A is already completed. So whenever you are at D, so how many choices you have? You have now two choices. You have C and E, right? So you have C and E, which are not covered, right? This is very important. You have also option B, but B is already covered. So whenever you are at D, suppose you are at here, you have either option. You can go for C or you can go for E. That is up to you. You can choose any vertex, but I choose the E vertex, right? You can choose EC. There is no issue, but I chose CE. Then after CE, I chose. Is it making sense, or still you have some doubt, Selena? Okay, good. No, that is fine. If you are still doubt, that is fine. I can explain one more time because it is very important concept, right? So Sanket and Kalpana, are you clear on this? Okay. Okay, so these are the two popular algorithm, right? So for DFS and BFS, right? If somebody need the code also, I can give you in case somebody is interested to implement this. You can try. And if you need the code, let me know. I can explain also. But still, for your exam point of view, you don't need it. But still, somebody is interested to know or interested to learn more about the implementation. That is fine, right? So I can send you the code. I have the code handy. In case you need me, let me know. Okay. Okay. So anyway, so that is all about it. So I think we'll just start one more concept and we'll stop it, right? I'll erase this. I hope it is pretty clear with you. I'll just start one topic and we'll stop. Just 1 minute. Okay. Okay, fine, fine. So just put your email ID. I'll just send. Maybe I think it's just 1 second. Can you everybody put, right? So if you need the code, just put your email ID here. I'll just take it and just send you the email. Okay, fine, fine. Yeah, I noted. Yeah, I noted all of your email ID. Okay. Yeah, so there is one more concept. So that I think we'll just give an introduction. I will stop, right? So which is known as what, right? So disjoint set data structure. Okay. So DS means data structure. Okay. So disjoint set data structure. So what does that mean, right? So that means we need. So this is used to detect a cycle and is a undirected graph. So given any undirected graph, so this is a cycle, right? So this is a complete cycle. Suppose this is a graph. There is no cycle, right? No cycle. There is a cycle exist here. Okay. So now the question is whether your graph contains a cycle or not, right? So that is the question, right? So how to check, right? So this is the algorithm or this is the disjoint set data structure. So which will help us to detect whether there exists any cycle in this particular given graph or not, right? So how it does, right? So that we are going to discuss in next class. But the basic idea I will tell you. So basic idea is to, yeah. So I'll just tell you, right? Suppose basic idea is, suppose initially, right? Just try to understand. So I'll just give example and understand. Initially, suppose A have the parent, right? Suppose you will take disjoint set, right? So disjoint set data structure. So it is a set, right? Some set you are creating, and it is a disjoint set, right? So A, B, C. Let me do it here. A, B, C, D, E. Okay. So initially every vertex treated as a single vertex, right? And they have a parent. Initially everybody are parent or everybody are have a representative. This is known as a parent or a representative, you can say, right? So what is our objective given any particular graph, whether that graph contains a cycle or not? So what you will do, you will take the edge, right? Suppose you will take one edge at a time. Suppose you are taking a B. Suppose you will take a B. So what I will say, we will take each vertex as the single individual vertices. So when you are checking this, so you will just add an edge from A to B, right? So that means what? So whenever you are adding an vertex A to B, that means they is now in single component, is not it? So that means you will make this A and B, since you are now processing A and B, so you will make them as single component, right? So how you will make them? So in earlier, so A had a parent A, B had a parent B, but now since they are in single component, so you can choose any one of them. You can choose A as they are both parent or B as both parent. Suppose I am choosing A as the both parent. Both parent A and B's parent are A. Okay, so that is what I am choosing. Okay, so after this is a B, right? So then suppose I am going for BC. I am just going any order, right? You can say me any order. Suppose BC. BC means then B is here and C is here. Then I will create one more component by considering BC. But whenever I am considering BC, AB are already in one component. So then that's why what will happen? So this 3 will be clearing one component. Then who will be the parent or representative? If you remember, for AB, A was the parent or representative. For C, C was the parent. So then again the same formula, right? So anyone can be the parent. Suppose I will take A as the parent or representative. For these three, ABC, A as the parent, right? And suppose now I am taking CD. It's CD. CD again same thing will happen. CD will become same component inside the same component, right? And they will have same parent, which is like A, right? Just one second. Yeah, sorry about that. So what I was saying, suppose you are considering CD, then again CD will be one component, then you will representative will be a single one, suppose A, right? And suppose ED you are considering, then they will have the same component. Now you will make either A or E, right? That is up to you. But you will make A, suppose as the A as the parent, right? Okay, so so that will be there. So right, so once it is there, so then what will happen, right? So so then what will happen? So once now this is very important step, right? So whenever A is coming, right? So now you see who is the parent of A, right? So now till now actually we covered these, right? If you'll see, till now we covered these, right? Till now we covered this, right? So till now we covered this, right? So whenever I'm covering this, if you'll see, this is creating a cycle, right? This is a creating a cycle. How you will know? So A has the parent A and A have the parent A. That means both the vertex have same parent, right? If both the vertex have same parent, then it is known as cycle. That means if you got any edge for which the end point of the two vertices, end point of that particular edge creates or have the same parent, right? So then what happens? So then it is known as a cycle. Did you get it? Is it making sense, guys? Or any questions? Is it okay? I think we will stop it here. So this is the concept, right? So if both the vertex have the same like parent, then they will create a cycle, right? So I will go in details, no worry. So if you have not got it, right? So that is fine. So this will give you a background so that you can just have a look. So in the next class we can cover it quickly. Okay. So there is a lot more thing actually. So this is just a introduction. So there is a find method, there is a union method. So which I did not cover, but we will cover it in details in the next class. Okay. If you have any questions, just let me know, or else we are good for today. Okay, guys. So thank you all. See you in next class.